This is the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I'm your host, Mike Ficklin. Joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We discuss music mainly from the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We also from time to time dive into film and video game scores, and we sprinkle in some surprises along the way. Michael, what have you been listening to this week?
So, I started out this week by listening to the whole entire Karnivool catalog.
Nice. Discover some new favorites?
I definitely like their second album a lot.
Yeah, it's really good.
Third one, I could give or take.
It's a little more... It takes time to get into that one. It's a little more complex.
I enjoy the other albums way better than the third one. But
totally understand why.
Of course, the assignments. I also went back and listened to Cold's 2005 release, A Different Kind of Pain. Just a random trip back.
It's a good record.
And I think that's it. Other than my big playlist.
Okay. I'm glad you got to dive into the back catalog of Karnivool finally. I know you love Themata, so I'm glad you finally took some time to listen to the subsequent records. Any particular favorite songs off of Sound Awake?
New Day. Of course, the more popular songs off the record, Simple Boy and Goliath.
Okay.
But the whole entire record's good.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
down and playing anything else, but those are the tracks that stand out to me.
Okay. Those are some really good choices, too. For me, I checked out the new record from Story of the Year titled Arson. This is their 7th record, and I'll start with the positives on it. The production is top tier. It has that signature blend of heavy and melodic that keeps everything sounding hooky. However, for me, the album is a bit of a mixed bag. The opener, Gasoline, is musically one of their heaviest tracks, but I found the lyrics a bit thin. I also struggled with Fall Away. The hip-hop elements just didn't land for me here. But when they get it right, they really get it right. My favorite track is Halos. It leans back into that signature emo pop-punk sound with a massive, hooky, anthemic chorus. To me, this is when the band is at its absolute best. Between Halos and the pop-punk energy of 3 a.m., there are definitely some highlights, but overall, the record didn't quite hit the right notes to make it a standout for me. I also checked out the new record from Sylosis titled The New Flesh. The British heavy metal band is back with their 7th studio record. The band chooses violence and punches you straight in the mouth from the get-go.
Wow.
The band wants to see you in the pit, and as such, deliver some absolutely ripping riffs. Opener Beneath the Surface brings the energy and the heavy from the outset. All Glory, No Valor brings a manic, chaotic energy that reminds me of peak early Slipknot. Lacerations brings a huge anthemic, melodic chorus that contrasts with the heavier music found on most of the record. Adorn My Throne introduces some black metal sounds with the additional keyboards providing a cinematic atmosphere. Everywhere at Once is an acoustic-led power ballad that singer-guitarist Josh Middleton penned about his family when he leaves them to go on tour. There's some absolutely killer guitar work on this album. The precision and speed that these riffs are played with is something to behold. When Middleton takes a chance to shred through a brief solo, it is immensely satisfying. This gets a Pick of the Week nomination from me. I also checked out the new Thrice live release titled Audio Tree from Nothing. I've raved about the Audio Tree from Nothing series before, and Thrice's performance is another home run. This set includes 4 songs from the band's 2025 album Horizons West, these songs being Vesper Light, Albatross, Holding On, and Nash. This is easily one of the best live mixes in the series. The band is incredibly tight, navigating the nuanced complexity of these newer songs flawlessly. Dustin Kinsrew, in particular, delivers a performance full of the heart and soul he's known for. My only real complaint is that it's not a full-length set. It's so good you just want it to keep going. Guitarist Tepi Teranashi often handles the band's engineering. Their ears for live in-studio sound are sharper than almost any other band from the 2000s post-hardcore scene. That certainly plays its role with these From Nothing sessions, as they're recorded in unique, non-traditional spaces, hence the name From Nothing. And the last thing I checked out, obviously other than the assignments, is a surprise drop from U2 with a brand new EP titled Days of Ash. This is U2 returning to a more raw and more punk sound. The EP is an observation on the current state of the world. The songs within are highly politically charged. It's a plea to try to see past the boundaries of politics and get back to humanity. This should come as no surprise, as U2 has always had a political message. The first track, American Obituary, is a tribute to Renee Good, the 37-year-old mother of 3 that was killed by ICE earlier this year, and a commentary on ICE. The Tears of Things is an imaginary conversation between Michelangelo and his statue David that reflects on the conflict between Israel and Gaza. Its title comes from a book of the same name written by Franciscan priest Richard Rohr. Song of the Future is a tribute to a 16-year-old Iranian woman, Serena Esmailzadeh, I believe is how it's pronounced, and I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly, who was beaten to death by Iranian forces for participating in the 2022 Women Life Freedom Movement. The only track that I could do without is the final track, Yours Eternally. I'm just not an Ed Sheeran fan at all. The track is a letter to Ukrainian singer and active soldier Taras Topolia, whom Bono and Edge met on a trip to Ukraine shortly after the Russian invasion. This collection of songs carries a powerful and poignant message that I believe is worth considering. All right, Michael, anything else before we move on to our next segment?
Nope.
Okay. So now we'll get into the art of discovery. This is our segment where we take a listen to a few bands that are either unsigned or just not getting the attention and love we feel they deserve. We've got a great selection of songs for you this time around. We're going to kick things off with a heavy metal band out of Manchester. This is Fight in the Shade with their song Ghosts.
Break free from your chain, you're the enemy of the dead.
And once again, that was Fight in the Shade with their song Ghosts. That comes from their EP titled Tales of the Wake. You can purchase their music from the iTunes store. And Michael, fun fact about this song is actually inspired by a moment from The Return of the King, which is the third part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What'd you think about the song?
I loved it.
Good stuff,
I
right?
love that ending. That ending's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta say,
I think you'd like the whole EP.
I gotta say, this is probably my favorite part of the show.
Yeah?
Is listening to these underrated bands.
Yeah, dude. It's always awesome finding new songs, and I love introducing people to new music, so I'm so happy you enjoy this segment. This is one of my favorite segments on the show also. All right. Our next song comes from an electronic rock, post-punk, post-industrial project out of Montreal, Quebec. This is Above the Snow Line with their song Religoons.
You know these stories were created so you learn to behave. Learn to behave. Learn to behave. You know these stories were created so to control the slaves. Control the slaves. Control the slaves. You know these stories were created just to keep you money. Keep you away. And keep you away. And they did it so the man in power can forever stay. Forever stay. Forever stay. Confess. Worship. Sinners. Confess. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. You know these stories were created so you learn to behave. Learn to behave. Learn to behave. You know these stories were created so to control slaves. Control the slaves. Control the slaves. You know these stories were created just to keep your money. And keep you away. And keep you away. And they did it so the man in power can forever stay. Forever stay. Forever stay. You need to wake up and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Unless you prefer simple life. It's all lies. It's all lies. You need to wake up and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Unless you prefer simple life. It's all lies. It's all lies. Confess. Worship. Sinners. Confess. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. Worship. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. Worship. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. You know these stories were created so you learn to behave. Learn to behave. Learn to behave. You know these stories were created so they control the slaves. Control the slaves. Control the slaves. You know these stories were created just to keep your money. And keep you away. And keep you away. And they did it so the man in power can forever stay. Forever stay. Forever stay. You need to wake up and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Unless you prefer simple life. It's all lies. It's all lies. You need to wake up and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Unless you prefer simple life. It's all lies. It's all lies. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. Worship. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. Worship. Worship. Sinners. Sinners. Worship. Worship. Sinners. Sinners.
And once again, that was Above the Snow Line with their song Religoons. That is a single, and Above the Snow Line has released a lot of material, and you can purchase their music from their Bandcamp page, abovethesnowline.bandcamp.com. Michael, I love the Nine Inch Nails, and this has that vibe completely. What'd you think about this?
It was amazing. Of course, I don't really know Nine Inch Nails. Like, music. I know the band.
Yeah.
I've heard them. But, like, I don't know their music. So, like, I can't relate. I can't tell if, like, you're correct on thinking, or not correct. I would agree with you.
Sure, I understand.
But it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And we definitely are going to get to some Nine Inch Nails. It's coming.
Okay.
All right, our final track comes from a post-rock and progressive metal project out of France. This is our second time featuring this gentleman. This is Sloen, featuring Swan Porter, with their song If We Meet Again Somehow 2026 version.
I cannot stay, honestly, but I wish I could follow. Like another body underneath, brings you to tomorrow, to me, and
sounds of angry whispers, the troubled wave resumes.
And once again, that was Sloen, featuring Swan Porter with their song If We Meet Again Somehow 2026 version. That comes from Sloen's record titled For All the Days Gone. You can purchase their music from their Bandcamp page, sloen.bandcamp.com. Michael, I love the huge cinematic atmosphere from this song, and Swan Porter's vocals are absolutely gorgeous. What'd you think?
I would have to agree with you.
Just a really, really pretty sounding song.
It is.
If you get a chance, I purchased a physical copy of this record, Michael. I really think you should check it out. It's really, really good.
I will.
All right. Well, with that said, we would like to thank all of the bands that we featured today. If you would like to be featured on this segment, feel free to reach out to us via email at lightmovepod@gmail.com or contact us on one of our various social media platforms. We'd love to check out your stuff, and if we dig it, we'd love to play it on the show. All right, Michael, let's get into our main topic today. We're going to break down Karnivool's brand new release, In Verses. So, I did some digging on this, listened to some interviews, tried to gather as much background information on this record as I could, and I got some fun stuff on this. In recent interviews, Ian Kinney and Drew Goddard have been very candid about why this took so long. They've described the process as, quote, at times, citing personal struggles, health issues, and a self-preservation instinct that caused them to block out some of the harder years. The turning point, Drew Goddard mentioned that the momentum really shifted during their European tour in early 2023 when the vibe finally felt positive again. Emotional acupuncture is what Goddard used as a specific phrase to describe this record. It's not just about technical riffs. It's about hitting specific emotional nerves. The album deals with identity, fatigue, and waking up to the fact that many societal systems aren't designed to keep us safe. The consensus among critics and the band is that In Verses isn't Sound Awake 2.0, but it is more patient than Asymmetry was. 6 of the 10 songs on In Verses have actually existed in some form since 2015. The band has been road testing these for a decade. This explains why All It Takes on this record is even noted as remastered. Fans have been hearing live bootlegs of some of these songs for years, so this album is the definitive studio vision they finally perfected. In a recent interview with Mix Online, producer Savell mentioned that for In Verses, he stopped trying to fix the band's quirks. Instead of perfectly aligning every drum hit to a grid, he left in the human push and pull of Steve Judd's drumming. There have been a few outlets that have labeled this as an Album of the Year contender. The Guardian in Australia gave it a 4.5 out of 5, calling it a triumphant return that defies the physics of the comeback album. They specifically praised the transition from Ghosts into Drone. Prog Magazine labeled it Album of the Month, stating that Karnivool has successfully transitioned from technical wizards to sonic poets. They noted that the weight actually helped the album feel timeless rather than dated. The fan consensus that I've gathered from places like Reddit and Discord on the Karnivool subreddit, the biggest debate is whether or not it tops Sound Awake. Most fans agree that In Verses is the older, wiser brother of Sound Awake. A common piece of advice that I've seen tossed around is don't judge in verses on the first listen. It's been described as a grower that reveals new layers on the 5th or even 10th spin. And with that out of the way, Michael, let's go ahead and dig into our track-by-track analysis. We'll kick things off with track number 1. This is Ghost. Michael, what do you got on this?
I like the really unique sounds that open up this song.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
think
it's really cinematic. Lots of textures.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what Karnivool really nails when like doing openers
Agreed.
or opening, because they always get pretty good ambient sounds.
They got a gift for
Like
building
on,
from those ambient sounds, yes.
Yeah. If we go back to their first record, COTE, had amazing ambient songs to lead in. Sounds,
Yeah.
I meant songs.
Yeah, it's really quiet, and it builds this tension, and then it lets it go, and it's glorious when it does that.
Mm-hmm. And then I like how it all builds into that nice guitar riff. The guitar riffs on this album, top 10 like riffs on an
Nice.
album. I'm gonna say it here, right
Nice.
here, right now. I love the high notes that are hit on this album. Also, you will hear me talking about the high notes constantly.
Ian Kinney is freaking amazing, man. He's such a good singer, so consistent.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really get too deep into the lyrical content, but like based off the vibe that this song kind of gives off from the ambience, it kind of gives off like eerie type. I don't know. It's kind of eerie in some way to me.
I could see it. Out of curiosity, have you looked at Spotify to see what Spotify says about this at all?
So, I had Spotify open. So, this is Herm. Let's do some. This is 6th on the album at 451,000.
Oh man, I already got to start with disagreeing with Spotify. Ugh.
Well, you gotta give it a chance. It's only been out. Oh. It's only been out for 15 days, so
Ugh.
just over 2 weeks.
Real quick, because I forgot to mention it, the folks appearing on this record for Karnivool: Drew Goddard on guitar, Mark Hosking on guitar, Steve Judd on drums, Ian Kinney on vocals, and John Stockman on bass guitar.
Gotta clarify.
I always mean to mention that before we get into the track by track, and I sometimes forget. So this was one of those times. Michael, do you got anything else?
I do not.
Yeah. I mean, for me, we open with these cinematic textures. It's very ambient and atmospheric, like you were saying. The song starts to slowly build before bursting into a full, heavy banger of a song. Those guitar riffs Drew Goddard and Mark Hosking are playing, like this visceral, low-end power that hits you in the chest. Ian Kinney has a powerhouse performance himself. He goes from these quieter, soft vocal melodies to these huge anthemic melodies with ease. Steve Judd's drums sound massive and punchy. Karnivool has always been good with writing these huge anthemic choruses, and they don't fail here either. This is a killer opening track. Maybe my favorite opening track from them since COTE, from their debut record Themata. That kind of cinematic feeling there at the beginning, that it's kind of got that sci-fi sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually Drew Goddard using an EBow on a bass through granular delays. They called it a sonic birth. They wanted the first thing you hear after 13 years to feel like waking up in another world. Ian Kinney has described this as the heavy lifting track of the record. Lyrically, it deals with survivor's guilt and the weight of the past. It's about the ghosts of the versions of yourself you had to leave behind over those 13 years to keep the band and your own mental health alive. Kinney mentioned that finishing the lyrics for the song was the moment he knew the album was actually going to be completed. He felt it was the bridge between the old Karnivool and where they are now. Michael, anything else on Ghost?
I don't think they're wrong on the descripting words for this that song.
Liked that, huh?
I'm dying over here.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll move on to track number 2. This is Drone. Michael, what you got on this?
I'm gonna start out by saying the Ghost leading into Drone, amazing. It's like on their first record, COT leading into the second song.
Yeah, it flows beautifully.
That's another thing that they're good at. Flowing stuff. I just went, I clicked on Karnivool. It's like actual Spotify page. Scroll down. Artist pick. 4th album out now.
So the Karnivool themselves picked in verses? All right. Well, you got to stand behind your product, don't you?
Before I actually get in more into my actual notes, since I'm already here, this song has 1 million, almost 2 million plays on Spotify, and it is second on the album.
Okay, that's better. That's better.
That's better. Another really unique song with uses of ambient sounds. It has a nice lead-in with the sounds to the guitar riff. A nice driving riff. Just amazing. I can't talk. I feel like I'm just going to purely talk about the riff because the riffs are just amazing.
Well, let's hear about them. I'm all right with that.
I feel like they definitely were trying to perfect it over the past 13 years. And it really shows. I feel like the big joke is going to be 13 years during this whole entire conversation. And the drum work just builds on with the guitar riffs. And I love the build up to the chorus, like, throughout the song. It builds up so nicely into that chorus. And the amazing ending to the song. It's just amazing.
Yeah. This one, like you were saying, it opens up with some atmospherics once again before getting into the song. There's a very jazzy, driving rhythm to this song. John Stockman's bass line is the heartbeat here. It's thick, it's groovy, and it carries the verses. The chorus again feels huge. A big vocal performance from Ian Kinney again during the chorus. Goddard and Hosking's guitar work is more subdued through the verses, but really bursts forth in the chorus with the power chords. I love the bridge section around the 3:30 mark. It feels so anthemic. It's just sheer perfection. Steve Judd's drums on this song deserve so much respect and recognition. They are an absolute masterclass. His patterns and fills are complex and so satisfying. I called this song jazzy earlier, and there's a reason for that. Steve Judd is actually playing two different time signatures at once here. 4/4 on top and 7/8 on the bottom. It took them 3 days just to get that groove to swing right. That's the level of detail we're dealing with on this record.
You mean 13 years?
Drew Goddard let slip that the, quote, wide open rumble of the song was directly inspired by the deserts of Western Australia. Lyrically, Ian Kinney explores the idea of monotony versus movement. It's about the drone of daily life and finding the spark to break out of a mechanical existence. He wanted the chorus to feel like a pop song to represent that moment of clarity or defragging your soul while driving through the red dirt of the outback. All right. Michael, you got anything else on drone?
Nope.
Okay. So now we'll move on to track number 3. I believe this is pronounced Azora, but I'm not 100% positive of that, but I think it's pronounced Azora.
Here, give me a second. I'll pull up Google Translate. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and say that. You're close enough. So, let's start out with Spotify's point of view on this. It is third on the record at 1,394,000 plays.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree. This is my favorite song on the record by far.
Spotify doesn't agree. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Meh.
I love the opening and amazing driving into the riff. They're just amazing at... And that amazing solo, I think, at least halfway through, I think. That's an amazing guitar solo. And the ending to the song, the high notes were hit on this ending will never happen for me. Even if I go into my in-head voice, I can't sing that high. I'm a bass for a reason.
Outside of your natural range.
That's like above soprano. Or like at the borderline of that.
Fair enough.
I can't go that high. Stop making it unfair.
Well, I think you should go into choir class next week and request to sing the song as a solo.
No.
Yeah, this is, again, it's my favorite song on the record by far. I love the polyrhythms mixed with the big, catchy, anthemic sounds. Once again, the band delivers on that big, melodic, anthemic sound during the chorus. Steve Judd's drum work on this song, again, is phenomenal. There are times on this one where it feels like the band took some influence from Tool, Radiohead, and even a bit of Dredge. Judd's drumming reminds me a great deal of Tool drummer Danny Carey. In fact, Judd has openly cited Danny Carey as a massive influence on his orchestral approach to the kit. His use of polyrhythmic limb independence, which is playing different rhythms with his hands and feet, is a direct nod to that Tool style. The guitars from Goddard and Hosking oscillate between these very Adam Jones-esque riffs and then into more powerful melodic territory. It feels like there's a ton of heartfelt emotion on the song. Kenny's vocal performance is so good on this. His choices on vocal melodies perfectly blend with the changes in the music. Ian Kenny has stated that the lyrics for this song were written while he was looking out a plane window during a period of heavy burnout. The title is Japanese for blue sky. The song is about the clarity that comes after a long period of gray or depression, which explains why the music oscillates between those heavy, jagged, Adam Jones-esque riffs and the soaring, melodic blue sky chorus. Outstanding stuff. Michael, do you have anything else on Azora?
It's a blue sky.
Indeed. All right, so now we'll move on to track number 4. This is Animation. Michael, what you got on this?
So, this is the song that beat out Ghost by about over 100,000 plays.
Okay.
Which means this is 5th on the album.
I'm also fairly certain that this was one of the singles they released from the record.
I can check singles. Yes, it was. It was the last one, I'm pretty sure. They released it on a EP. It looks like about a week or so before the album came out. They put Animation, Opal, the previous song, and Drone on it.
Okay.
So those are the singles.
Gotcha. Well, that and All It Takes, which had been previously released.
This opening is really unique. Like unlike the other songs. I like the slower vibe it gives off compared to the previous 3 songs. I love the guitar work, and basically to a point where pick up guitar time.
Anything else?
I'm going to think of some more things. Or build off your notes.
Yeah. The very beginning of this song gives me these really chill Japanese music vibes. Mark Hosking was experimenting with a koto, which is a traditional Japanese string instrument, which he then layered with a clean electric guitar to create this sound. Stockman's bass line really carries the verses on this song again. Goddard and Hosking's guitars have a down-tuned power to them in the chorus. There's a lot of power and punch to them.
It's almost like the album's called In Verses. Mind blown!
During the verses, the guitar work is more minimalist and atmospheric. Around the 3-minute mark, things quiet down and we get into this more moody, atmospheric section. It's one of my favorite parts of the song, especially with the very Adam Jones-esque guitar solo. It's not about playing fast. It's about making every single note count. It hits like a ton of bricks. Kenny again is absolutely on point with his vocal performance, showing several sides of himself: quiet, emotional, melodic, and powerful. Ian Kenny has called this the pulse of the entire album. The lyrics are about reanimating a dead connection, whether that's with a person or your own creativity. It deals with the frustration of feeling stagnant and the explosive retribution of finally moving again. Interestingly, this song existed in several different forms since 2016. Kenny says he had to relearn how to sing it because his perspective on the lyrics changed so much as he got older. Michael, you got anything else on animation?
13 years.
Technically, only about 2 years.
Well, technically, in all technicality, this album technically has been in the works for at least 10 years. Because some of these songs existed 10 years ago.
Nope,
The album...
I agree with that. But it only took them about 2 years to actually record the album and get it prepared, so...
Then why didn't we have it back in 2015?
Did you miss the whole thing about the vibe of the band being off?
Vibe don't cut it. We should have had it back in 2015.
Patience, friend. Patience.
Patience? 13 years of patience. That's basically my whole entire lifetime.
All right, so let's move on to the next track. This is track number 5, Conversations. Michael, what you got on this?
This song is 8th on the record at 343,000 plays.
Again, meh.
You disagree?
I disagree with Spotify more often than I agree.
Are you... What do you think the highest plays is? Because we
I have
are
no
coming
idea.
up on it soon.
I have no idea. Too hard to tell.
Just no, you know?
I'm going to take a wild guess and maybe it's All It Takes has the most.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that song's been around for about 5 years, so...
I don't think Spotify counts the plays
No,
from...
it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it is a song that people were already familiar with.
Hey, are we flying to Paris May 12th? To go catch Karnivool?
Sure.
Or London?
Absolutely.
May 14th?
You find a way to pay for it, we'll do it.
No, I know where we're going. Berlin.
Again, you find a way to pay for it, we'll do it.
Alright, actual notes time. I like the vocals. At this point in the album, it starts to kind of fall off for me. And it really shows in my notes. Let's just say it's like a sentence long, my notes for this song.
So, just for clarification, the stuff that you liked from the album is pre-conversations? Things you dislike are come after this point? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay.
The album really starts to fall off for me. And I'm
Okay.
not downplaying it at all. It's just, I feel like it takes a pop turn.
It does. It definitely does.
Now, there is definitely some songs that shine out from the dark.
Well, we can get to them when we get to them. You don't have anything else on Conversations?
Yeah. And I hate saying that, but like, it just doesn't do anything for me.
Okay, that's fine. You are allowed to dislike things, sir. For me, we're greeted with a 1.5-minute instrumental opening. It's atmospheric and feels emotional. As we get into the heart of the song, Kenny's vocals join in. They've got an effect on his vocals early on. It turns out that it's a vocoder blended with a talk box. He and Kenny wanted his voice to sound mechanized at the start to represent the difficulty of communicating in the modern age, as if he's a machine trying to learn how to be human again. There's a certain introspective melancholy to his vocal delivery. Stockman gives a very Justin Chancellor-like bass line at one point in the song. Goddard and Hosking's guitars are atmospheric through the verses, but become huge and powerful in the chorus. Musically, it almost feels like it has a bit of a post-rock edge to it. Lots of textures and atmospherics. Drew Goddard revealed that the long instrumental opening was originally intended to be a separate track called Static. They decided to merge it into Conversations to force the listener to sit in the silence before the lyrics start. Kenny says this song is about the breakdown of dialogue. It's about the internal conversations we have with ourselves when we're too afraid to speak the truth to others. All right, Michael, anything else on Conversations before we move on?
I mean, it's there on the album.
I do not feel the same way you do about it, but that's okay.
I know. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me.
Fair enough. Well, let's try and get into one that you do like then. We'll move on to track number 6. This is Reanimation. Michael, what you got on this?
Let's see if I actually have some long note. Alright, well, I think the longest part is going to be me talking about Spotify. So, this is 8th on the... yeah, 8th. With 344 by 8 plays.
Okay.
Quite literally. I mean, alright. I'll come up with some notes here. Well, we're reverting back to old Michael right now. I like the amazing peaks that in the vocal range. Also, I like the guitar riffs in drum work.
But the song itself doesn't do anything for you.
Nah.
This song features a guest spot from prog legend Guthrie Govan. Guthrie didn't just mail in a solo. He actually spent 2 days in the studio with the band. He used a fretless guitar on the atmospheric textures to get that slithering alien sound that doesn't quite sound like a standard guitar. It's a slow burner to open up. Very atmospheric and cinematic. Stockman's bass line is again driving this song. The guitars provide ambiance and texture. This is another song that is thick with emotion. Kenny's vocals are just dripping in it. Judd's drums sound thunderous among the atmospheric instrumentation. When the song opens up around the 4.5-minute mark, it just sends my soul flying. Kenny's vocal performance is huge in this section. The song closes back on a quiet note, with just the sounds of a solitary clean guitar and Kenny's singing "We're All Right." Ian Kenny shared that the final lyrics, "We're All Right," were actually an ad-lib. While recording the final take, the band had just received some good personal news, and the relief he felt poured into the mic. They decided to keep it as the emotional resolution of the song. And to get the specific sound of the drums, Steve Judd actually played the drums with timpani mallets during the verses to get a rolling thunder effect before switching to heavy sticks for the climax. Michael, do you have anything else on Reanimation?
I do not, but I am sorry about the next track. I will actually have stuff to say.
Okay, so let's get into it. This is track number 7, All It Takes, 2025 remastered version.
I gotta say, it definitely lives up to its number 1 place at 3 million plays.
Yeah, the original version of it that they put out in 2021, it was really, really good too. It stands to reason that this would be the favorite song of a lot of folks, especially because it's a song that folks were already familiar with, and this remaster is killer.
I love that riff. Oh my! That riff. And then the opening vocals. It's just amazing. With that, like, it's kind of like out in the distance. Until, like, I think once we get into the main chorus, we start hearing it less out in the distance. But I love this song. I love how it goes back and forth between, like, different uses of unique sounds and stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's an awesome song. This might be the most Tool-sounding song on the record. Stockman's bass line is so good. The tone of it reminds me very much of Justin Chancellor. The guitars are very economical through the verses. It's again reminiscent of Adam Jones. Around the 2-minute 19-second mark, the song opens up a bit before getting into a quieter, more introspective section. Around the 3-minute 30-second mark, we get into a section that is a bit more atmospheric and huge feeling. Kenny's vocal work is stellar throughout the song. He gets to show his considerable range. I'm again going to take my hat off to Steve Judd. The polyrhythmic drum pattern on this song is complex and so satisfying. I think Danny
Wait, you can't
Carey
play
would be
that?
proud of this one.
You can't play that?
No. Not even if I tried at the moment.
Now you got that.
Yeah. Ian Kinney has described this song as a bridge track. Interestingly, the vocals for Animation were actually recorded during the same sessions as All It Takes back in 2021, but the band held it back because they felt the album wasn't finished with its story yet. Kinney says this song is about self-discovery and realization. It's about the moment you stop avoiding your own truths and decide to push through the boundaries of your current surroundings. It's a call to arms for the individual to take ownership of their path. All right, Michael, anything else on All It Takes?
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, other than if you are going to listen to at least one song on the record, I think this is definitely one of those tracks.
For sure.
But I will say, before we even get to the ending, I will say this album is definitely an album that you have to listen to multiple times all the way through.
Yep, you definitely do.
I definitely caught myself listening to this, and it will probably end up on my Spotify Wrapped as the number one album, most listened to album for the year.
Yeah, you definitely have to give it the time of day, right? You have to get your best headphones and really focus in and listen. And every time you listen to it, you pick up something new. So that's a testament to the band and how well they textured this album.
Yeah, it's just amazing how textured and everything else about this album is it definitely feels like they've been working on it for a while.
For sure.
Like 13 years while. I got him.
All right. Moving on. We'll move on to track number 8. This is Remote Self-Control. Michael, what do you got on this?
Inside of the record.
Oh, I disagree.
No.
I totally disagree.
No, it's the inside of the record. No. And Spotify agrees with me. It is the 10th most played song on the record with 227,000 plays.
Sorry, Spotify, but you're wrong. It's your wrong day.
I could do without this song.
What don't you like about it?
I just don't like it. I just don't. It don't do anything for me. Don't.
Okay. I disagree.
Well, let's hear why you disagree with my take.
Yeah, the opening of the song kind of reminds me a bit of Rush. It's controlled chaos. Judd's drumming in the verse is quite jazzy. In fact, I feel like Judd is putting on a masterclass in drumming on this song. I love Kenny's vocals on this song. They're melodic and emotional. The parts where he sings "Hold On" are gorgeous. In fact, Kenny has mentioned that those specific melodic sections were intended to be the message of hope that anchors the heavier, more chaotic parts of the song. There are moments when Goddard and Hosking's guitars remind me a bit of Dredge's Mark Ingalls. I really enjoy the moments when the band breaks back into the controlled chaos. Judd's drum patterns seem to be working against the guitars. The choruses have that huge anthemic feel. In a 2025 interview, Kenny called this track weird but wicked. He noted that it's designed to kick the gates in as soon as it starts. This is a call to action. While much of the album is introspective, Remote Self-Control is about standing up and doing what is difficult or uncomfortable. It's about the frustration of seeing the world through a screen and finally choosing to take back self-control. Michael, anything else on Remote Self-Control?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm really dreading this next one from you then.
No.
This is track number 9. This is Opal. What you got on this?
I disagree with Spotify's plays. It should be higher. It's at 626,000. It should be way higher.
Which place is it where?
Let's see. Oh, it is 4th.
Okay.
I love the first 3 minutes. It's just an amazing ballad during the whole entire thing. It's amazing start from through finish. I gotta say, it's probably my favorite song on the record.
Hold up. This is probably the most poppy song on the entire album. You've been
No, it is not.
complaining about how the back half of the record is too poppy for you.
This is not poppy at all. This is not poppy. This is not poppy at all.
This song is your favorite song on the record.
This is not poppy at all. This is a ballad. What are we on about?
It's a pop-oriented ballad.
No, it is not.
It most certainly is.
It is not.
You've been called out, son.
No, I have not.
What else you got?
It's just amazing. Now, a song that is pop is the 8th song. Or, yeah, the 8th song. The last song.
Opal is a soft and far more pop-oriented ballad. Admittedly, when this song was released as a single, I didn't think much of it. I wasn't a big fan. However, having heard it in context and sequence in the full album, I found enjoyment. I'll start out with saying that Kenny's vocal performance is just dripping in emotion. It's a really beautiful vocal performance. Musically, this song is carried by the emotional atmospherics. The guitars are much more subdued. Even the drums don't feel as prominent. Around the halfway point, when the additional strings come in, it just takes this song to the next level. They provide additional emotional depth. With about 2 minutes left, the song does take on a heavier, more guitar-driven section before the song heads into its quiet, atmospheric, piano-driven close. The strings were performed by members of the West Australian Symphony Orchestra. The band wanted Opal to feel like a living, breathing entity rather than a programmed track. Ian Kenny describes Opal as a song about fragility. He compares human connection to the gemstone, beautiful and multicolored, but easily cracked if not handled with care. He stated that it's one of the most vulnerable songs he's ever written. Michael, anything else on Opal?
No.
Okay. So now we'll get into the final track. This is track number 10, Sālva. What you got on this?
I'm going to disagree with Spotify heavily. You want to know how many plays this has?
How many?
250,000.
Yep. I again disagree with Spotify. That's no. Nope. What you got?
It's another ballad like the previous song and a nice ender to the album. I love this double combination between Opal and this song. It's just an amazing lead-in from Opal to this song. I feel like we got some heavy riffs and all that into these last two songs that are just amazing. You know?
Yep, very emotional.
And it's a awesome album ender. I think it's probably, if I were to rank like albums that we've covered on the show, this for ender, like ending tracks, I think this would be on the top of it.
Wow. That's high praise coming from you, sir. Yeah. For the briefest of moments when the song opens up, I'm reminded of the closing moments to Tool's song Reflection. It's a very similar guitar tone and riff. As we move into the song proper, this becomes more of a pop rock ballad. The guitars provide texture and atmosphere, while the bass line drives the rhythm of the song. Kenny's vocals are emotional. We get the expected big chorus from the band. Around the 6-minute, 11-second mark, when the tension releases, we get a big cinematic section, complete with bagpipes. It feels massive. It feels like an introspective moment at the end of an epic journey. What a ride it was. The bagpipes were played by Mark Hosking's brother. The band had been sitting on the idea of using bagpipes for nearly a decade, but waited for the right emotional moment. They recorded them in a large hallway to get that echoing across the valley sound. Sālva is Latin for save or heal. It serves as the benediction for the album. Ian Kenny says the song is about acceptance. After the ghosts and the drone of the earlier tracks, Sālva is the moment of peace. The final lyrics are meant to feel like the sun coming out after a massive storm. Terrific song. Michael, do you have anything else on Sālva?
I do not.
Okay. So that will take us to our final thoughts and our overall album ratings. Michael, go ahead and give us your final thoughts and your rating out of 5.
Amazing album. When I listened to this album for the first time, I was expecting what their first album was kind of like, because I hadn't listened to the other 2 albums before listening to this new album for the first time. And I gotta say, it may not sound like their first record, but I think this record is probably their best record that they've released to date.
And that's even with you disliking the back half of the record?
Yeah. And I don't really dislike it. I mean, when I'm listening to it, I feel like those songs always, like, get tuned out. Because they just don't really catch me.
Okay.
I probably should have said that before instead of saying what I did on the track by track. But I do say those songs are still good in their own right. I got to say, the 13 long year wait deserves this 5 out of 5. Perfect.
Michael gives it a 5 out of 5, despite calling one of the songs on the back half of the record the inside of the record.
The rest of the record just carries it. I ain't gonna take off points for one song.
Sometimes when there is such a prolonged wait between albums, anticipation and expectation of a band can reach a fever pitch. So much so that when a new album finally does drop, it can lead to disappointment. I can honestly say that, for me, the long wait was worth it. This is the sound of a band that is showing its maturity and growth. In my opinion, they hit all the right notes in their return. This is a far easier listen than 2013's Asymmetry. In fact, I'd place this solidly in the conversation about being a spiritual successor to 2009's Sound Awake. Drummer Steve Judd stands out on this record. If there were such a thing as a successor to Tool's Danny Carey, then Judd fits the bill. Able to go between jazzy sections, incredible polyrhythmic sections, and more straightforward rock timing with ease. Ian Kinney remains one of the best vocalists in all of rock music. He's got an incredible emotional range to his vocals. Drew Goddard and Mark Hoskins also continue to show their growth, at times taking a very efficient Adam Jones-like approach to their writing, getting the most out of each note. The bass work on this album also deserves much praise. John Stockman's work on this album is superb, oftentimes carrying the rhythm of these songs. His playing, even his tone, reminds me very much of Tool's Justin Chancellor. In Verses is an incredible journey that must be experienced in the best sound equipment that you have. I give it a 5 out of 5 as well. And that will take us to our question for the audience. What is your favorite track on In Verses and why? All right, and that'll take us to our next segment, Michael. This is Can't Wait. New music coming soon. Michael, do you got anything on your list?
Let me look at your list. I see 3 things that caught my eye on your recently announced, but I'm going to let you read it off.
Okay. So, as far as music coming out over the next couple weeks, a couple albums that have caught my eye. On February 27th, Rob Zombie releases his new record, The Great Satan. And on March 6th, Era has their new record coming out titled Silence Outlives the Earth. As far as recently announced, on March 20th, the Deer Hunter drops their new record, Sunya, which I'm really excited about. I just heard the first track from it and loved it. On April 24th, the Foo Fighters drop their new record, Your Favorite Toy. I assume that's one of the ones that caught your eye.
Yes, it was.
I listened to the first single from it. It's the title track from the record, and I enjoyed it pretty well. It's got a kind of a garage rock kind of flavor to it. It's interesting. On May 29th, Shinedown has announced their new record titled 8. Also, I Built the Sky drops their new record, Promise Me You'll Thrive. On June 5th, Evergrey drops their new record, Architects of a New Weave, which I am sure caught your eye, Michael.
Yep.
And then, no dates have been released yet on these, but there's some hints on social media about possibly new music, maybe a new album from Tomahawk. And Michael, I know you're probably not familiar with them, but they're another one of Mike Patton's projects. Mike Patton, the singer from Faith No More. And also, Opeth vocalist and guitar player Michael Ackerfeld announced he's going to be recording for a different project in May. So, new music coming from Michael as a part of a different project. So, looking forward to hearing that too. I assume that was the other item that caught your attention.
And I meant to say also that Shinedown record.
Yeah, I'm cautiously approaching that.
Oh?
I really enjoyed the first two Shinedown records, but beyond that, it gets kind of hit or miss for me. They've drifted into this kind of pop territory, and I can take or leave it. So
Is it kind of what happened to Linkin Park?
Yeah, and what's happened with Seven Dust here and there. So we'll see. I'll approach it with caution and see what I think of it. All right. Didn't get any listener feedback, so we'll get into our final segment of the show. This is Michael's journey, discovering a song from the past. And this time, we're going to get Michael's thoughts on Stevie Wonder's Uptight, Everything's All Right. This was recorded by Stevie Wonder for the Tamla Motown label. It's one of his most popular early singles. Uptight, Everything's All Right was the first hit single that Wonder himself co-wrote. Uptight, Everything's All Right peaked at number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Pop Singles chart in early 1966, at the same time reaching the top of the Billboard R&B Singles chart for 5 weeks. Billboard ranked it as the 59th biggest American hit of 1966. Some interesting background about this. Stevie Wonder had a U.S. number 1 hit with Fingertips in 1963, and 2 more singles in the top 40, Workout, Stevie Workout in 1963, and Hey Harmonica Man in 1964. But in 1965, at age 15, his voice had begun to change, and Motown CEO Berry Gordy was worried that he'd no longer be a commercially viable artist. As it turned out, however, producer Clarence Paul found it easier to work with Wonder's now mature tenor voice, and Sylvia Moy and Henry Cosby set about writing a new song for the artist based upon an instrumental riff that Wonder had devised. Nelson George, in Where Did Our Love Go? The Rise and Fall of the Motown Sound, recorded that Wonder had been inspired by the Rolling Stones song I Can't Get No Satisfaction after playing several tour dates with the Stones. As Wonder presented his ideas, finished or not, he went through everything, remembered Moy. I asked, "Are you sure you don't have anything else?" He started singing and playing Everything Is All Right, Uptight. That was as much as he had. I said, that's it. Let's work with that. The resulting song, Uptight, Everything's All Right, features lyrics depicting a poor young man's appreciation for a rich girl seeing beyond his poverty. On the day of the recording, Moy had completed the lyrics, but didn't have them in Braille for Wonder to read, and so sang the song to him as he was recording it. She sang a line ahead of him, and he simply repeated the lines as he heard them. In 2008, Moy commented that he never missed a beat during the recording. That's an incredible story.
It is.
Personnel on the song: Stevie Wonder on vocals and keyboards, James Jamerson on bass, Benny Benjamin on drums, the Funk Brothers providing additional instrumentation, Johnny Allen on the horn arrangement, and the Andantes on background vocals. With that bit of background out of the way, Michael, let's get your thoughts on this song.
I love the beat to this song. It's amazing. I just love it. It's nice and groovy. Also, Stevie's vocals, top tier.
He's just one of the best of all time, hands down.
You could never downplay Stevie Wonder.
Anything else?
Amazing.
Yeah. Outstanding song. This song has such an infectious rhythm to it. You could feel the positive, easygoing vibes flowing from the very beginning. James Jamerson's bass line is so funky. The horn section provided by Johnny Allen really helped to set this song off. They provide an additional brightness to this upbeat tune. Stevie Wonder's vocal melodies are catchy as hell. I defy you not to feel the rhythm of this song and not want to sing along. Benny Benjamin's drums are simple, but give the song that undeniable danceable beat. Jack Ashford's jangling tambourines on this song provide a shimmer. Without them, I think this song loses some of that upbeat energy. This is another of those iconic songs. When you hear those opening notes, you know exactly what this song is. This is a thoroughly enjoyable and uplifting listen, a certified classic for good reason. Michael, let's get your rating out of 5 on this.
5 out of 5.
Well, Michael, for your next song on your journey, you're going to check out Nina's song 99 Luftballons. And for our main topic on the next episode, we're going to be discussing Bullet for My Valentine's 2005 debut studio record, The Poison. And with that said, we want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request: keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you like the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout. We'd like to thank you very, very, very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement podcast.
Take care and enjoy music.